American Top 40.
Well, there isn't much left of the year 1982, which means we're getting pretty close to American Top 40 special end of the year survey. That's our exclusive countdown of the year's 100 most popular songs. Join me at Christmas time and we'll count them down from number 100 to the number 1 song of the year. Now, in this week's countdown, we're up to another of the 4 new songs that debut this week. It's a hit by an English singer who's already made some waves on the British charts. Now, he's crossed the Atlantic with a song that hit number 1 in England. Debuting at number 35 on American Top 40, here's Adam Ant with Goody Two Shoes. The man's name, Adam Ant. And the song that went to number 1 in England, Goody Two Shoes, now debuts on American Top 40 at number 35.
American Top 40. American Top 40.
My name's Charlie Van Dyke, and I'm counting down the hits this week for Casey Kasem. Now, we're up to the first American hit by one of the hottest new stars to come out of England. His real name is Stuart Goddard, but he calls himself Adam Ant. And here's his story. In 1976, during the punk and new wave music scene in Great Britain, Stuart decided to drop out of art school and form a group. 21-year-old Stuart Goddard became Adam Ant, leader of Adam and the Ants. The Ants put on very loud and rowdy shows, and they weren't very successful in the beginning. They eventually were signed to Decca Records, and they released a single. But the record flopped, and they were dropped from the label. Critics despised the band, but slowly they developed a cult following. By 1979, Adam and the Ants were a leading part of a new music scene called the New Romantic Sound. It was different kinds of music set to a dance beat and played in London nightclubs like Blitz and Club for Heroes. And New Romantic meant more than music. It was style and the right look. Adam Ant pioneered much of that look. He's a rock swashbuckler, dressed in a buccaneer outfit, wearing war paint, with his hair braided. And recently, even some critics have begun to take notice of his music, which he calls ant music. In the book, The British Invasion, David Keeps wrote, "The sound is a melding of African Burundi drum beats, Indian war hoops, and heavy metal." End of quote. In the last couple of years, Adam's been all over the British charts. As a solo act and as leader of Adam and the Ants, he's had 9 top 10 hits in England and 3 number 1s. His first American hit this week is at number 22. Here's Adam Ant and Goody Two Shoes.
American Top 40.
You're tuned to American Top 40. I'm Shadoe Stevens, and now we're up to the English singer who was a video pioneer in the early 1980s. You could see him as a colorful, roguish highwayman plundering the countryside in Stand and Deliver, or he was a royal romancer in Indian war paint as Prince Charming. Those videos made Adam Ant stand out.
Well, at the time, it was pretty much like the old sort of Sun Studios, you know, with Elvis and Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis, you know, sort of, they used to make the records on bits of, you know, wire. And it was pretty prehistoric with video at the start. It was shot on video, so things were shot and then erased if you didn't like them. And my videos were just a result of my preference. I'd always felt that it was an opportunity to visualise a lyric in a very, in my case, dramatic and theatrical way, you know, and I like costuming things up and making things, you know, larger than life, and I did that.
Now, while Adam became a video star thanks to MTV, he says he really owes it all to college. If he hadn't gone to school, it all never would have happened.
I made short films at college and was able to do the storyboards, so instead of having to take it outside and delegate, I was able to just literally draw what was going on in my mind. In fact, the storyboards are very close to the finished thing, and I think also there was always an underlying sense of humour and dance, and it worked. I've read stuff about my videos that is actually, you know, I've had to get Roget's Thesaurus out to find out what they're talking about, but, you know, it's good if they're fun, people get to see them and they're hits, you know, that's kind of very rewarding.
Well, Adam Ant's making videos again to go with songs like his hit at number 17 this week on American Top 40. Here's Room at the Top.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem. Casey's Top 40 originates in Hollywood. Well, now we're up to the latest hit for Adam Ant, a British musician who's also a busy actor. He's been in 16 feature films playing everything from a salesman to a vampire. Back in the early 80s, Adam Ant was one of the bright lights on the London new wave music scene. He was known for his albums like Prince Charming, Kings of the Wild Frontier, and his only gold album, Friend or Foe. In 1982, he had a big top 40 hit called Goody Two Shoes, and in 1985, Adam Ant moved to Hollywood. Since that time, he split his career into two parts. He's kept on releasing albums, and he's also pursued a career as an actor. To polish his craft, Adam enrolled in a prestigious acting class where his fellow students included Ray Liotta and Daryl Hannah. And then he started to land some movie roles. At first, Adam was cast as a bad guy, which Adam says, quote, is what they do with everybody who has a Cockney accent, unquote. But even though he's still often cast as a villain, Adam's roles have started to become more varied. In the past year, for instance, Adam was in 4 different movies. He was a combination rock manager and vampire in a film called Drop Dead Rock. He was a sailor in the movie A Sailor's Tattoo. He was an eccentric Cuban gangster in Desert Winds. And finally, Adam played the role of an insecure salesman in A Lover's Knot, a movie where Adam starred with Jennifer Grey and Tim Curry. At the same time, Adam was working on a new album, and this week the title track from that CD moves up 5 notches to number 24 on Casey's Top 40. Here's rocker and actor Adam Ant with Wonderful.
Casey counts them down.